to sugarcoat it. Not only is the next civil war looming, the world is ending, but also the demons, they're coming for us. And in places you wouldn't think. It's not just the crypts and the spooky dungeons. No. In fact, the demons are coming for us in all forms, and social media is one of them. Tim Pool says demons can use social media to manipulate people's thinking and control their emotions. Super excellent stuff. Make America Great Again right in the background. Right wing all over it. Demons can use social media. The obvious problem in America is lack of education and a focus on religiosity. May I point this out? Even if it's for a grift. I don't even know if Tim believes in demons all the way. We'll find out. I think he's drinking a Spindrift though. Quality drink. All right. This guy looks like he put his hair on. I don't know if that's real or not. He looks fake to me. Am I just have we smoked too much? Do you think Tim painted this cat? Let's find out.
Reading something, and this was written by an exorcist, and he compiled evidence from a bunch of different sources, different exorcists he talked to.
An exorcist. A survey of exorcists by an exorcist told us.
He'd been involved in. And one thing he said was that it was commonly found that in homes, schools...
Some guy just fucking sneezing over his very serious demon warnings. These are very serious, guys. Can we keep the sneeze? Maybe the demons made him sneeze. Maybe the demons are trying to interrupt it. Maybe I'm a demon trying to interrupt it. I'll press play. I don't want him to think I'm a demon.
Different locations that there was some demonic presence in. There was virtually always a demon perched on the primary chair in front of the television.
Always. They love TV.
Now, this was this exorcist's experience, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on mass media, television, the internet, and the relationship between that and the demonic, the way the demons can use it.
That's so fucking good. How can so the demons, sir, are most commonly found, as evidence shows, on the primary sitting surface within the domicile, watching the television. Can I see the evidence that we're talking about? Do we have pictures of these guys like vegging out? Do they like snacks? What do demons like going on? Do they have like Diet Cokes and like fucking nachos? Are they just guys? Are the demons men? Is this a metaphor? I don't think so. I gotta know. I've never seen a demon watching TV. I mean, I haven't either, but that's why I'm wondering. Do they have pictures? Can I see an illustration? I imagine demons is different than devils, but you know.
I mean, that might have been his experience.
This okay. They brought Pope Eggs Benedict on to talk about it. Great. Good. We'll have a nice, reasonable discussion about this, I'm sure.
I don't know if I would necessarily I would go that far myself to say that. I'm not saying that he's...
I'm not, and to be clear, I'm not saying he said it 100% of the time, but that it was a very common thing, that there was some relationship between the demon and the television.
Well, the fact of the matter is that what demons ultimately want to do is to control our patterns of thinking, because from there our choices are going to flow. So they want to do that, and so that...
Okay, so let's just take that on face value. What piece of text do you think does that most? Like, attempts to try to control what people think the most? I'll wait, because I think this guy might read that text. I think this guy might, just if we're spitballing, I think this guy might be under the effects of demons. That's the only way to describe it. Has anyone ever made a piece of fiction that was like I'm sure it's happened. What is the fiction where the Bible is actually, and not in a comedy way, the Bible is actually like a horror movie maybe. The Bible is like written by Satan. Has anyone done that? Oops, gotcha. The Bible's written by Satan. Last fucking scene or whatever. Twist. It's got to be like a fucking 80s movie. Probably the opposite of C.S. Lewis. If not, it's happening. The Gnostics did that? Well, that's not really what we're talking about. Oops, all demons. Yeah.
Means that they are going to do everything they can to be in control of the various means of media. This is what, so two observations about that. That's why you tend to see the media, at a certain point, you're just like, I got to turn these people off because it's constantly lying to me.
Yep.
It's just,
I wonder if they genuinely have observed that, or if it's just part of the thing that they say, because a lot of these guys watch Fox News all the time. Same shit. I'm wondering. Can they actually see that there's propaganda going on? Like, are they able to identify that? I feel like only leftists really talk about this in a cogent way.
You'll see that. And so there's this constant manipulation, constant social engineering they're trying to do, constantly trying to manipulate people. And that's...
Because obviously not. He thinks it's demons instead of just folks.
I think is diabolic in the broad sense, because that's the way demons want to control that. And I think the demons actually control a lot of the people that are involved in those, not through possession necessarily, but through various other means. This is
pretty vague. Various other means. The demons are controlling us. Specifically, the media. Who could that mean? Do you think this guy is anti-Semitic or not? What do you think? Because when he says the media... When you're on a Tim Pool podcast, half the time they mean Jewish. Just that's what they mean, which is pretty fucking crazy. Tim's a big Israel guy though, right? Is he a big we should bomb the kids guy?
Is also why too, which you might have experienced yourself. Anytime you're on the side of the good, the demons are going to be messing with your work ability, even in the context of the media. So, or they'll block it, or something that you think, this is something that should really get out there, and all of a sudden there's nobody watching it, etc.
Oh my God, the fucking cope bubble these people live under. No one's watching me because of the demons. The demons have suppressed my message. Like, these people just fucking live in a delusion. I think this is like... More broadly, I just don't know how you would do this unless you were a fucking alien race able to do the study on humanity broadly. But, like, it seems pretty obvious to me that, like, these systems, not only do they breed a certain kind of thinker, but they also draw in a certain kind of thinker, the kind of person who... And there's, like, a human quality to this that is... Maybe part of the grieving processes. I mean, like, you know how like the first step is like denial? A lot of people just like live in denial pretty much throughout everything. I don't know what that is. It must be some kind of survival mechanism to cope through, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Because we're humans and we're so fucking anthrocentric and we are capable of being clever and smart, the capacity to like think forward in time and backwards in time at the same time, to plan, react to, like, all of this, there's some fucking mechanism in our heads that leads people down this so easily. It doesn't have to be exactly this, but you just know who they are. They just believe a fucking thing. It could be a fucking astronomy. It's just like, not astronomy, astrology. Astronomy's real, guys. The moon's flat. But, like, they just get sucked in and they just start to, like, they start to peel away the criticisms you could have of yourself that are valid that maybe you should change, and they start to just apply it to like exterior forces, whether in this case it's demons or just anything, sin. I feel like they're avoiding the human condition with this kind of stuff.
So that all being said, they want to control the sources of information, just like communists want to control the sources of information.
Just like communists. See, demons are just like communists. The source of information. I don't want to control the source of information. I just don't think you should be able to fucking misinform people and profit. I don't care if you're just a guy. I want people's freedom of speech. I don't want an enterprise of false speech. So I think that's easy. I think you shouldn't be allowed to take to market your false speech. I don't know how you fucking like fully get rid of it or anything. I don't even know. At least on the corporate level, because there'd be less incentive downstream. Like my situation, like with the tipping situation, I don't know how you could stop a streamer from that, because that is just a guy with his free speech, and then people choosing to give them money or whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'd go after that necessarily. But like once you're an enterprise, especially like Tim Pool, like just constant disinformation. I don't know what the size is, but I think at a certain point you should be under scrutiny, direct scrutiny. You should be manslaughter from having someone die from medical misinformation. Well, I mean, we're already litigious enough. I'm not surprised you're thinking of that, though.
Yeah. Because from that, they can control you.
Well, I just want to mention here, I got to do a shameless plug, but...
From education, you can be controlled. I see it just totally opposite, because, Christians and right-wingers, they're always projecting what they would do with power. When I think of having power, I think of not it being centralized with me or any one person. I think of it being like communally, we understand that things should happen, and then we set a standard of conduct that includes not being able to fucking lie for profit.
This is part of why I'm an animator, I'm a cartoonist, and for those in the audience who don't know, we've made over 600 animated videos. We have over 1 million subscribers and 290 million views with zero spent on marketing.
Cool. I am not going to look up who this is. I have some ideas, but I don't care.
And we've decided to move past these shorts and create a full-length animated show to try to communicate good conservative values.
Yeah, it's going to fail because conservatives do not have any fucking, like you're talking about demons. Conservatives don't have the ability to make good art because you do not know what art is. Art is true expression. It's not just about what you want to tell people to think, which is part of that. You can definitely get a message out in your writing, but it's also expression, like actually expressing something. When we find really good pieces of art, it's when people are really actually expressing something, really truly doing it. And it doesn't have to be the whole film or book or TV show, but you can tell when there's good parts, the things we like, you know, it's real in some way. The person writing it felt like the thing that they were writing maybe was true or ought to be, instead of just messaging, which is like just like a religious response to things. Like, you know, it's just preaching from the pulpit. It's not making art. It is telling people how to think, and you're trying to like sneak it in to pictures. And this is why like conservative stuff doesn't work almost ever. I'm trying to think of like the best conservative piece of art, and I'm coming up pretty blank. You'd have to go back to some classics, like really, really back in the day, and even then, like the thing they're conserving is usually like, you know, not why people like it. Top Gun's a good example of why I wouldn't say Top Gun is a great, I don't know, maybe it's great. I like the second one better than the first one, frankly, and I don't think it's great. I just thought it was more fun. But that's gay as fuck. That's gay. People like it because it's kind of gay. It's like a gayer form of masculinity than they're allowed, but with the veneer of like being really hyper masculinity. It's fascinating. The Mission Impossible movies, maybe. I think these are just movies made by conservative people. It's pretty gay. Anyway, Home Improvement. It doesn't hold up. I haven't looked back on Home Improvement. I liked Roseanne growing up. That's got some shades of conservatism to it. Way less than her normal shit, though. Masculinity is gay? True. Can be. This guy, not gay, though. Look at those shoulder pads.
Not through these ham-fisted monologues like, unfortunately, a lot of campy conservative content has tried to do, but through good story and jokes. So if you guys want to help us in that, we've got a week left to get fully funded.
Wow. He came to Tim Pool for a reason. They're all just scrambling for the same $20.
Really good place, but we're not going to get to the finish line without your help. So go over to twistedplots.com and help us fund this animated anthology series, which tackles a new issue in every single episode and does it in a very entertaining, compelling way that spreads a positive message.
I want to talk. There's a couple big stories right now with 3i Atlas as well as AI.
Oh my God, the fucking dude! They cannot stop with the 3i Atlas thing. They are like, it's fucking aliens. It's gonna pass us by, and it's just gonna keep going, and it'll be a rock. If it was aliens, would it change anything about their fucking worldview, though? No. Do you think? I think there'd be cultists immediately. There'd be alien cultists right away, but like, because these people just want to. But like Christians, what do you think they'd even fucking do? There are other people that are like, literally think of it in the craziest scenario, which is like they're human-ish, but not human. Can't communicate with us kind of thing, but are clearly a distinct, different species with intelligence that maybe surpasses our own. Like, how do Christians contextualize that phenomenon in their heads? Which might exist in the universe. Probably not. We're probably not going to make contact with that, but that'd be fucking crazy. I can't imagine that they would be here to conquer. If that was the kind of thing that they had going on, that would be a weird way to do that. Doesn't seem efficient. we seem far away for that. Christians would want to bring Christ to them. You think so? Call the aliens just demons? It'd be a lot of end days, and then especially if they abducted people like in the movies, and they got fucking raptured. Dude, you know who'd get History Channel would fucking thrive though. They'd be like, ancient aliens told you. They won't have to have any proof at all. Told you. I haven't played enough XCOM? What do you mean? I've definitely played enough. And the answer is definitely they're going to turn us into snake people. That's their end goal. Imagine the disappointment if aliens came preaching their own religion. I think it'd be funny. I'd be a little sad that I would be disappointed that they weren't secular, because that's crazy to have interstellar travel. But if they weren't, but I would be compelled to think they're more correct after I heard them out, assuming they had the ability to travel through time and space. So, like, how do you know? What's your evidence? That's where I'd be at. Like, if there is a God, what is it? My suspicion would be
it is the matrix that makes up the universes.
It's not really a God, and they just like are woo-woo guys that love stuff. Instant galactic xenophobe? I don't think. I would be surprised to find that religion carried through intergalactic species. I feel like it just takes so much. The amount of cooperation you would need to attain such a feat, and the resources and stuff, it would be crazy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. 3i Atlas has people believing that maybe an alien vessel is headed our way. AI, of course, some people think is literally just demonic. Before we get into those, which are going to be bigger subjects, I want to get more granular. And with all of this high-level conversation about motivations of demons and stuff.
What is a demon? Do you have proof of demons? Do we have skeptic Tim? It'd be nice.
Interesting, but can you tell us just a specific story of maybe the most either shocking, profound, or impactful exorcism that you've experienced or performed?
So Tim Pool, like so many hacks that take up the right-wing space, do not take a skeptical approach, because that's not what makes them money. What makes them money is being a sycophant. And so they do this softball thing where they set up a tee and they put a little ball there and they go, okay, hit it hard, buddy. And sometimes they do their best without any interference. That's pretty much what we're going with. Tell me, what's the most amazing demon fact you know?
Formed?
Yeah, I mean the preternatural signs that you tend to see are they're all part of the show, right? They're just showmen. They're just it's parlor tricks. So I don't pay too much attention to that. But usually what you find is that it's the stuff that comes out underneath all of that the demons will actually talk about. So I tend to find demons very boring because.
That's how high level I am. I find demons boring. I do exorcism all the time. I want this guy to come summon a demon with me. Summon a fucking demon with me, dude. For real. Who's this? What's this guy's name?
They're the same. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And I've been doing this for 18 years. So after a while, you're just like,
jeez, only 18? This guy's in his fucking 40s. Fighting demons takes its toll, dude.
Like, you know, I tell people it's like being on the receiving end of a sewer pipe. After a while, it gets a little old.
Yeah.
Right? But
you never see that in the exorcism movies. You never see
No,
guys
you
just
don't.
bored about the demons.
yeah, I mean,
Maybe we'll have to do an episode on that at some point.
and it's-
The
and it's a-
bored exorcist.
and it's a grind. I mean, it's day after day you're doing this stuff, right? So, but once in a while, just like in a sewer pipe, a woman will lose her wedding ring and it comes floating down the sewer pipe. So
By the way, you should just watch Constantine or read it. He gets bored. He's like, I'm done with this shit.
you get these little gems now and then, right? So in doing this line of work, I mean, it's not my chosen line of work, but this is you get these little gems. Well, one of those was in a case that I'm actually working on right now, where this demon had a particular beef with Our Lady and God's chosen will in relationship to Our Lady, and he
Mary? Guessing? Our Lady? Must be Catholic?
he basically, what came out was this, is that every single person in the end, if you're going to go to heaven, ultimately has to sacrifice things, because St. Paul says God is all in all. So if we're going to be in heaven, we're not going to be interested in what we have here or anything like that.
Do you guys think that sounds cool and good? They say communism tells you what to think, and then he goes like, and in heaven we won't even have individuality, we will be a hive mind to serve God. Like, they don't make sense internally with themselves. They don't even know what's good, just that they say that God does good stuff. They don't know why not thinking for themselves would feel bad materially in reality to them, because they don't care about it in heaven. That's an attainable and worthwhile use of their eternal existence, is to not have an individual self. I don't know. Is that what they've wanted all along? Why aren't they commies, bro?
only going to be him, because all these things are good.
Self is a construct. We are merely stardust in the form of self for a brief period of time as we individually deserve it from our unique vantage points. So take care of your universal vessel, chat. Ooh.
Because they have some semblance of him, but when you see him, he's so good. He is goodness itself, so you're going to be completely enthralled with that.
Yeah, guys, he's just goodness. Don't even think about it, dude. Okay, once more. If Satan wanted to have souls to, like, feast on eternally, doesn't this sound like the exact description he would give to never have lied and also to have made everybody treat each other like shit? Do they never think about this? If I was a Christian for a second, that would haunt me. I would be like, holy shit, am I sure? I think this should be written. This is so... why hasn't anyone done this?
So that means that on a certain level, there has to be, at a certain stage in a person's either life or before they see him, there has to be a willingness to put aside all other things and to see him. Now, in parlance, we just call that sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice these lesser things in order to gain this greater good. And we do this all the time in relationship to, in order to put this podcast out, there's all sorts of lesser goods you have to put aside in order to achieve this greater good, right? So this is something that we do all the time. Well, the demons, that they wanted some perfection, this lesser good, but they had to be willing to let loose of that in order to attain this greater good. Now, as I mentioned before, they only had one choice, and then after that, they're locked in.
Hey, I just wanted to take a moment to let everybody know that my wife is beautiful and talented, and she's lovely, and she should keep this in the video. I'm going to keep watching this video, though. She's just great. Follow her on Blue Sky.
Well, his beef with Our Lady was, he said that she sacrificed herself her entire life over and over and over again and never once counted the personal cost. And he said, that's why I rejected God's plan. Because I only got to sacrifice once, and I knew it did not matter how hard I sacrificed in that one thing. I would never attain what she did through the virtue that she would attain through that perpetual sacrificing. And so I often tell people...
So the demon was jealous of Mary's sacrifice to God, and actually demons love God or something, and they want to please God? What? It's interesting. Demons want to please God because they are cast from his light and they hate being in hell. And so the system that God has set up makes the demons exist and then pushes them into the material realm to victimize human beings with real souls that God knew he was going to put in peril by making this system and making hell permeable by demons and controlled by Satan, who are not evil necessarily, but will do evil things out of desperation to try to please a God that will never have them. Wow, this is am I spinning a web that sounds fucking compelling or what? This is an evil God. This God is evil. As he describes it, it just there's no goodness at the end of the thought thread. How do you get there? Do you know why right-wingers don't have good media literacy? Because they believe in the Bible. It doesn't teach you media literacy. It doesn't teach you how to learn a story and take its elements out. Because if you did take the elements out of the Bible that you should take from it as written, you'd be like, this is vile. The lessons that this has to teach are archaic and bad and from a borderline blood cult in the Bronze Age. It is what it is.
The most beautiful thing. So that was one of the things that I started to reflect on, and then later in the process, I was saying Mass, and anytime he would manifest during Mass, because the women would attend the Mass and receive communion before we'd actually start the sessions. Anytime he would manifest before Mass was finished, I realized, okay, God's told him he's got to tell me something, because this is these patterns.
God's told the demon he has to tell me something? So God is in direct communication with every demon, which is way more relationship with God than a person ever gets, and guides their actions directly? Why would he do that? What? That's an evil God, man.
They're very consistent. Even though we tend to think they kind of maraud and act randomly. No, they're very consistent in the way their behavior. So after the Mass, I started the session, and I said, he told you have to tell me something, didn't he? He was so angry, because by this time he's manifested, which means he's morphed, and this woman's looking like a man at this stage. He was so angry he wouldn't even look at me. So I said, shut up. You are not permitted to talk. Now there's
So I said, shut up, which is in the Bible. Shut up, he said. And then the demon did.
There's two reasons I did that. One is I want to maximize his pain. He's one of these, this particular demon is one of those where if you try and ask a question right off the bat, he'll hold out and hold out and hold out. Whereas if you beat him brutally for a while, it softens him up, and then as soon as you allow him to talk, then he'll talk.
And when you say beat him brutally, just for the audience, what does that mean?
That means you're saying prayers and making him reflect on certain things, etc.
The only reason I wanted to flag it is because some number of people who have seen too many movies are going to go, this priest is beating people when they say they're possessed.
No,
so I wanted to take that ammunition from them.
No, that's true.
I wanted to take that ammunition from them. Dude, they're so paranoid. I did not assume he was beating the shit out of they're so fucking crazy. Christians are fucking crazy. More people need to understand how crazy Christians are. If you think this is normal, fucking why? Tell me why. I would love to know.
Yeah, no, it's a series of prayers and certain things that you do, reflections that you make him drag him through, and which is painful for him because it's contrary to his will. Well, so 45 minutes later, after I've made this guy's life miserable, I said, you have something to tell me? And he just looks at me, and he said, he told me I had to tell you my nature. I said, let's hear it. And he said, I convinced people that they cannot be separated from the particular good. Now, when he said that, I stepped back and I said, that's a whopper. Because I knew exactly what that meant.
What does that mean?
In every sacrifice, you have to turn away from a particular or a lesser good in order to achieve a greater good. And what he does is he spends all his time convincing people, no, you can't let loose of that lesser good.
Wow.
You have to hold on to that. And as a result, they don't pursue the greater things in life.
Wow.
So anyway, what Christians teach is subservience to a master. And so this is always, well, you have to give up the lesser good for the greater. And so usually the lesser good is your autonomy, your money, your time, your effort for the greater good, for the church, for the billionaires, for the ruling class. And so they fall in line. And without even knowing it, whether they politically think this matters or not, once you have this in your head, you don't question authority or hierarchy. You don't even think, like, why does this person right now, whoever it is, why does this person have actual fucking control of me right now? You just won't ask. Why do my parents have control? Why does my teacher? Why does my principal? Why does a cop? Why does my boss? Why does my manager? Why does anybody? What is it? And once you start, like, questioning what that even means and what it, like, the behaviors we set ourselves into without even fucking questioning it, just like, I think is very eye-opening. Like, just the hierarchy that you step into irrespective. So, I mean, it's no wonder that they're mostly conservative and that secular people tend towards the left, because you deconstruct things in a logical way, whereas these guys don't. They use their emotion.
And so, and he said, and then after that, this was very interesting. After that, he said, that's how I took out your country. That's how I took out Adam and Eve. That's how I'm taking out your church. That's how I keep people in spiritual mediocrity. And he just goes down this list, and I'm like, there it is.
Wow.
See what I mean? Literally. He immediately parlayed that into, this is why the power structure isn't how it should be. It should be more conservative, guys. Yeah, I don't believe him either. He sounds like a fucking snake oil salesman. I mean, this guy seems like a piece of shit to me. I don't know. I haven't seen his shit, but he seems like he's got this opportunity, and he's selling something.
Yeah.
So that's one of those gems that floats by. And so it's helped me because then I realized, because as an exorcist, a comfortable life would be a lot better thing than I'm dealing with now.
Yeah.
I don't live a comfortable life. Give me money.
Of course.
But I realized, no, that's a lesser good.
Well, and speaking of that, you mentioned that this isn't your chosen line of work. My understanding is that you don't choose to be an exorcist. You're essentially made one. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so usually basically what happens is that when cases arise, they come to the knowledge of the chancery, which is run by the bishop, and then he chooses a priest to undergo formation in order to become an exorcist, and then he becomes the exorcist for the diocese.
So it's not like there's a bunch of guys going out there going, I'm going to be an exorcist and this is going to be my job. Part of the reason it's important to point that out too is because
God, dude. Is he on cocaine? The way he moves his body has me thinking that he's he's just twitchy and ready. He's like very worried about what someone might say. He wants to point things out so people don't say different things.
I almost wouldn't trust someone who wanted to become an exorcist, who wanted that to be their career path. And so it's really important that the church just kind of picks people and says, you're the guy who has to do this.
Is there a possibility of like a reverse exorcist?
Like putting demons into things?
Like someone who, let's just say, hates the
Summons demons?
church and wants the demons and wants the destruction and then seeks to get people possessed?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's all the time. It's when people curse other people.
Yes.
So
Anyone could do it.
anyone can do it. And this is
Okay, I curse this guy. This guy's cursed. This guy's fucking cursed. Curse him with demons. Curse him with demons. I want the demons to get him to stop being a grifter. Boom. I'm cursing Tim Pool. Tim Pool's cursed with demons now. I'll get the TikTok witches on it. You're cursed with demons. Demon curse. Get you. I hope Tim Pool has a horrible skateboard accident. Like, Prager. Dennis Prager, but a skateboard. With the demons. With the demons are doing it. Donald Trump dies shitting his pants in front of a lot of people. Like literally standing there 1 second. Demons, go on, get on it. Donald Trump is...
Again, I'm the one that makes Lucifer cringe.
Yeah, you get it. Thank you, Dr. Gamble. We need Donald Trump to be standing in front of dignitaries, people that do not respect him, but that are showing respect in the very moment. And then we need him to say something kind of stupid, stumble a little bit, shit his pants audibly, brown stain, doo-doo everywhere, falls over, dies, and then stress laugh reaction from the dignitaries, and then they shuffle out.
Popey.
That's the demons that I'm looking for. If you don't have those kinds of demons, then I don't want them. Yeah.
in fact, this is one of the reasons why.
Don't do it.
Yeah. This is actually
Oh, you too. I hope your hands, the demons are going to make his hands stop being able to make bad cartoons. Only good ones from now on, buddy. Woke ones. Because that's how the demons want them.
one of the reasons why cursing or doing, well, the technical word is malefice, which comes from Latin words malus facere, which is to do evil against people. And there's various ways that can be done. There's rituals, which is some kinds of curses.
So wait. Sorry, just to interrupt, but like witches?
Yeah.
Like witches, bro?
Exactly.
Thanks for watching this clip.
Oh, great. That's where we fucking cut the clip off. Super cool. Like witches? If you want more of this really good content, better go over the paid subscriber wall so you can punch on through it. $15 a month to see how I react to him talking about witches. Cool. It's pretty cool. All right. Well, that's a Tim Pool video. We got through it, guys. The witches are cursing people. They got demons. If you know how to summon a demon and you know how to make it do woke shit, if anyone's got any demons they want me to make a deal with, let's get it on. Let's get some demon action going. Okay? I got some ideas. On how to wokeify this world.